so today's topic was my personal choice, because compared to every other topic that we've had in the last few weeks, all of us here have opinions on cities, right? We are residents of them, we interact with them, we've lived our entire lives in some cases in a city. So we all come from a place of, I know what this is, and I have definite opinions on how it needs to be. So that was the reason why we took this topic. It seemed a little more friendlier. But as we got into it, especially with the context of AlterCOP and how we evolved to be a sustainable city, or set an example, a global example on how all cities can be modeled, it's important we think about context. So without context or mental models, we can get easily discouraged. We can get easily distracted with all the sound bites that's coming up. This is not enough money, who pays? All of that. So it can get very discouraging. So today's session, context is going to be something I'll request you to keep front and center. Okay, let's see. We start with a very simple diagram. So this is the standard systems model, right? I'm sure all of you have seen it, interacted with it. So a system has entities, those circles, they have relationships with each other, they have interdependencies, and they have interactions from one system to another, from external factors to the system, right? It's a very simple system model. The key thing to understand is that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, okay? Now, when we extend this higher, the way we define a system can be more complex. Each entity can be a system in itself. For example, the definition of a system is every single entity is an independent system. It's in the context of a much larger complex system. A system is a group of interacting, interrelated, interdependent components that form a complex but unified whole. The key thing to remember is that the system will always work itself out. It will find a way to sustain itself. But if you have a definite view of how the system should behave, you need to design certain interventions in order to encourage the system to behave in the way you want it. And this is important from a city perspective, because a city is a system of systems. There are lots of interdependent factors here. There are lots of interdependent systems in itself, companies that are involved in the supply, in the consumers and other companies that consume it. And there are policies, lots of relationships that we need to keep in mind. And when you look at things from a systemic perspective, it's easier to sort of keep that context in mind and not be so discouraged when you see when you see COP behaving the way it is, or people fighting the way they are, negotiations and stalemates. So with that in mind, cities as a system of systems, this is what we're covering today. We're talking about sustainable cities. Within sustainable cities, we will talk about sustainable tourism first. So sustainable tourism is something that is very important from a Singapore perspective. Hospitality is very key to our GDP. So we will talk about what that means from a sustainability perspective. We've got a huge, very interesting lineup of speakers. We will talk about waste management. It's an integral part of a city. We'll talk about transportation, which will be the session that we begin with right after this. We'll also talk about the tech infrastructure that will make all of this a smart city, not just a sustainable city. Later on towards the day, we'll focus in on urban planning, like how do you design cities with sustainability and inclusivity in mind. So we have an expert panel, we've got expert talks, people who've been researching this their entire lives. We're very excited to see that the set of speakers. And towards the spotlight later in the day, we'll talk about the built environment, but built environment also from a city-wide perspective, not like what's inside an individual building. So it's going to be at a macro level.